Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming. Today, I am going to discuss Polkadot and if it is more than just a blockchain. So, as you probably expect, I did not come up here to say no, it's just a blockchain. So yes, it is in fact more than just a blockchain. And in fact, in the most literal sense of the word, it is more than a blockchain because it is 51 different blockchains. So that's just right now. More are being added all the time. The basic idea of Polkadot, in a nutshell, is that we have a relay chain indicated by this sort of central circle, and users and developers can create their own chains that are secured by Polkadot that can interact with other parachains in the ecosystem in a seamless and trustless way. So, one chain could put assets on another, or NFTs, or have a smart contract on parachain A, call a smart contract on parachain B in a trustless manner. So yes, so Polkadot is more than a blockchain because it is, in fact, many blockchains. Yes, for another reason, you can make your own blockchain with Polkadot. So Polkadot is not just a blockchain by itself that we've created, but rather a place where you can build a blockchain that meets your specific needs. So if you need a blockchain that is a simple EVM clone, that's very easy to do. If you need a blockchain that has specific needs for the gaming industry, or for decentralized finance, or for social media, or for prediction markets, just to name a few of the different kinds of parachains that we have right now in the Polkadot ecosystem, you can make it. And it will be much more efficient, and it will be able to interact with all of the other chains in the ecosystem by default and very easily. So this substrate, Polkadot SDK, is a Rust-based software development framework that allows you to, out of the box, create your own blockchain, and that can very easily connect with Polkadot. So yes, in yet another way, Polkadot is more than just a blockchain. So Polkadot's rules are not built into the node. So most blockchain systems out there, the rules for the blockchain, what is a valid transaction, how does it interact with others, how does it come to consensus, all of these things are built into the node software. But actually, Polkadot has a different approach to this, where the rules for the blockchain, what we call the runtime, are stored on chain. And I just gave a talk earlier today going into the technical details of why this is so. But because of this, you can very easily upgrade without a fork. So this is the traditional way for nodes to for blockchains to upgrade. You get all of the nodes to start following the new chain with a hard fork. Right? So you have to tell everyone, hey, by this point in the chain, everyone needs to upgrade to the new node software that has the new rules. However, with Polkadot, since the code is on the chain, by definition, anyone that's following the chain is going to follow that code. So what this means is when governance of your chain has decided it's time to upgrade, then it will happen automatically for all nodes that are running Polkadot or your chain. This makes it a lot easier than coordinating with everyone running a node that, hey, it's time to upgrade, and make sure that you do it. It generally just happens automatically. And this is not a theoretical concept. This is something that happens on a very regular basis in the Polkadot ecosystem. I actually ran the numbers yesterday. So on the relay chain, the central chain of Polkadot, this has happened 52 times since Polkadot was launched in May 2020. So a little under 4 years, 52 runtime upgrades. Compare that to pretty much any other chain out there, where it's, if you're going to have an upgrade, it's definitely generally a multi-month process to get it out there, but it's very fast on Polkadot. And with all of the parachains, so I added them all up, there have been 996 runtime upgrades. And things have been going great with all of them. So if you are building a blockchain and you think that, hey, I'm going to want to change the rules at some time or add new functionality, then Polkadot really is the way to go for this. So, right, just so you know, not to spoil the ending, I'm just going to keep saying yes. The Polkadot is more than a blockchain in different ways. There won't ever be a no. So the Polkadot ecosystem is built with the Polkadot SDK or substrate, but a lot of other ecosystems and other projects have actually looked at substrate, looked at how we're building Polkadot and the framework that we use for it, and said, we want to use that as well. So just a few of the other teams that are using the Polkadot SDK to build BitTensor, Aleph Zero, Starknet, the Madeira sequencer, Edgeware, Avail, the Midnight partner chain on Cardano, Energy Web. There are a lot of different projects that have said, well, hey, we're interested in building our own chain, but we're going to use Substrate because it is an extremely powerful way to create blockchains. This actually is what got me into Polkadot in the first place. At Web3 Summit 2018, Gavin Wood had a talk where he got a brand new MacBook out of out of its package, and a little over an hour later, after downloading Rust and doing all the compilation and everything, there was a brand new blockchain running on his computer. And I thought, wow, this is super exciting, right? That you can just have your own blockchain, figure out what kind of features you want. There are actually hundreds of what we call palettes. These are like libraries or gems, if you're used to Ruby, that you can add to your blockchain. If you want to add democracy or staking or proof of work or an on-chain treasury, all of these things are about as simple as import whatever the name of the palette you want is. So a lot of other teams, like I said, have looked at the Polkadot SDK and said, yeah, we're interested in using that because it is such a powerful and easy framework. So another way, Polkadot is more than just a blockchain. It's actually influencing a lot of other ecosystems out there. So yes, Polkadot is more than just a blockchain. Because Polkadot is also the communication between all of these chains. Right? So we have a technology called XCM where we allows you to trustlessly interact in a common way, a common format, with any other any other parachain in the ecosystem or with the relay chain. And this this communication does not have to be just, hey, I have an asset, I'm going to lock it up on one chain and and have a representation of it on another, because all of the parachains in Polkadot are operating under the same consensus. It's really a sharded chain and not multiple chains that communicate via bridges. They're all operating under the same consensus mechanism, which allows us to more easily to more easily and trustlessly perform other more complicated operations, like getting NFTs from one chain to another, having a smart contract on parachain A, call a smart contract on parachain B, etc. And again, just like I mentioned with the runtime upgrades, this is not some far future, cool, theoretical thing we may be able to do someday, but rather something that's happening all the time right now. I'm sorry, I actually noticed like 2 minutes before I came on stage, I have a typo here. So there's an average of over 2,000 XCM messages per day over the last month in the Polkadot ecosystem. So we have different chains that can interact with other chains that are special made for different purposes, but act as though they're all part of the same chain. So you get a lot of the benefits of like one large monolithic chain in terms of interactions, but you also get a lot of the scalability benefits of of a sharded chain or even multiple chains. The inscriptions craze came to Polkadot last year. We had about 7 million transactions per day on the relay chain, and we were hitting peaks of several thousand transactions per second, and it didn't even impact us enough that the fees got the fees got raised. So we had actually a huge stress test for Polkadot on the relay chain and passed with flying colors. And part of that is the scalability, right? That you can take things and run them on different chains, and that we've really worked to make sure that each of these chains can handle a pretty significant number of transactions per second. All right. So once again, yes. Hopefully this wasn't a surprise to anyone that I said yes and not no or maybe. Polkadot is more than just a chain because it is totally controlled by the community. Polkadot's governance process, which is controlled only by dot holders. So there is no special sudo super user. There is no multi-sig that the developers have. There is no special account that people from Web3 Foundation can do or interact with the chain in any special way. Any change to the Polkadot network, from a small parameter change, like what's the ideal staking rate, to changing the runtime code of the relay chain, is all done through our OpenGov process, where one dot is one vote. And if developers want to issue an upgrade, this needs to be approved by the dot holders. And so, we have to put something on chain. If the vote passes, this is automatically enacted. There's no human intervention once the new runtime or the code change or the parameter change or whatever is placed on chain. It's all there, right? And then if the vote passes, then it is automatically enacted. You can't have a situation where people vote to upgrade the runtime and the developers are lazy or sleeping and it doesn't happen. If you vote on something, it happens. And it really is like a huge, huge example of absolutely direct democracy. At least democracy for dots and dot holders. So yes, Polkadot is more than just a blockchain. So it is the world's largest and most decentralized DAO. Right? So as part of this governance process, dot holders have control over the Onchain Treasury. And the Onchain Treasury is automatically built. Basically, whenever there is inflation in the Polkadot network, a portion of that is diverted to the Onchain Treasury. And this can be given to people in a variety of different ways to develop projects for DOT. So we have all kinds of different things that are approved by people that vote on this right now. As of yesterday, I think there were 47 different proposals out there for different projects for DOT. So things like wallets, for Polk Assembly, which is the place where people can discuss governance proposals, for marketing proposals, for interactions with different teams, with different government. We want to get consulting. There's one team that wants office space in New York City for Polkadot. We have one team that wants to do Polkadot branding, and this is all controlled by the DOT holders. And currently in the Polkadot Treasury, there are over 41 million DOT. That number was correct as of yesterday, about 24 hours ago, plus USDC, USDT, and we are looking at having the ability to include other tokens in this. So it's actually a very powerful spending and spending control mechanism that is powered and voted on by all DOT holders. So once again, yes, Polkadot is more than just a blockchain. The technical developers are headed by, anyone can contribute, obviously, it's open source, but we have the Polkadot Technical Fellowship, which is actually an on-chain entity, so essentially another DAO that is part of the core aspect of Polkadot, that actually using this treasury and using an ongoing automatic swap from DOT in the treasury to USDT, the members of the Polkadot Technical Fellowship are paid by the protocol itself. So I've always thought this was really cool, right? The protocol is going on, it's producing blocks. As part of this, some percentage get sent to the on-chain treasury, and some percentage of that gets sent to the developers who are building Polkadot, in a trustless way, and then they keep the network going, right? They operate, they build new features, etc. So we've really got like this sort of flywheel, or like this circular economy occurring inside of Polkadot. So yes, Polkadot is more than just a blockchain, because Polkadot is multiple consensuses as well. So besides Polkadots, we also have what we call a canary network known as Kusama. So Kusama is not a test net, but rather a network with real economic value that we put code out first. The tagline is expect chaos, or sometimes no promises. The benefit of using Kusama is you get to try out new features and do cool new things. But the downside is it's not always code that has been as battle tested as what's on Polkadot. So generally when a feature is added, we mess with it on the test nets, then it goes to Kusama. We see how it operates in a real environment. If there are economic issues or problems that may be seen in the real world that are not seen on a test net, then we find this stuff out on Kusama. Kusama has done a great job of finding problems and has really helped keep the Polkadot mainnet from experiencing them because they happen first on Kusama. So Polkadot is more than just Polkadot. Polkadot is also Kusama. Yes, thank you. I don't know if that was someone listening to me or someone who just randomly said yes, but I love it anyway. So Polkadot is also the community around that is helping to build. And we would love to help you build on Polkadot and make Polkadot better. So we have a lot of different programs. So I already mentioned the Onchain Treasury. Everything is done entirely on-chain. Web3 Foundation, the Swiss foundation I work at, has a grants program for people building open source projects that will be useful to Polkadot. We also have the Decentralized Futures program, which is time-boxed until June. It's giving out 20 million US dollars, as well as 5 million DOT to teams that are looking to build ongoing projects in the Polkadot ecosystem. We have Decentralized Voices, which delegates voting power from a Web3 Foundation DOT stashes, so that you can have more say in the voting process, even if you don't have a lot of DOT yourself. We have the 1,000 Validators program, if you're interested in running validators to help secure the network. We have a lot of different educational initiatives, so including several massive open online courses on edX. We're calling this Web3X. So there's mine, Blockchain Fundamentals. We have Intro to Polkadot. We have Intro to Rust, which is being released very soon. And then we'll have Intro to Substrate. So we'll have a whole series of online courses that you can take to learn about Polkadot and how to build on it, as well as understand blockchain in general a bit better. Finally, we have the Polkadot Blockchain Academy, which is in a different area every 3 months, different part of the world. The last one was in Hong Kong, next is in Singapore. And this is 4 weeks intensive learning how to build on Substrate and build something for Polkadot. So we're not just a blockchain, we're also a community. So in closing, yes, Polkadot is more than just a blockchain. Thank you, everyone.